Hello and welcome to some vlog style type shit, content type beat. Today I went to the gas station nearby that does some of my mechanic stuff, and my truck has what's it called? The tires are getting at a point where I will have to replace them. But fortunately, they can do it for me, and they'll do it alignment. They'll do it tomorrow. Excuse my hiccups. They'll do an alignment and a tire change tomorrow. They have to order the tires, and what's it called? Yeah. So today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive the truck around with the tires as they have less tread now. Fortunately, it's dry today, so I don't think it'll be too hazardous, and I'm not going to be doing anything too dangerous, but, you know, it's kind of fun to, like, slide around a little bit when the tires are on low grip mode, and also since it kind of does that anyway, it's good practice for maintaining control of the vehicle. What else? I had a million thoughts in my head. It was good getting some of my music done yesterday. I almost said tomorrow. I'm on weird time. And then speaking of weird time, while I was waiting at the gas station for an estimate, I got an email from NSA Recruitment. I'm on their list, I guess, because I try to stay updated on stuff like DARPA stuff, NSA, DoD stuff. I'm not a federal employee or anything like that, but I just like to stay updated on what people are doing. And so they sent an email out to people on the list to, like, update their forms and stuff. So I'm going to do that real quick. Update my information. I'm sure they want someone with 2 DMT possession charges. That's probably their bread and butter. They probably sent me one of them. They may even be the reason I got arrested. But hey, you know, once my probationary period is over, maybe they want me doing some Splinter Cell shit. Who knows? I'm only down if they give me my clearance back and establish it a little more establishedly. Anyway, this is the email. NSA Careers. They're basically just saying they want me to update my information. Yeah, it's not even that interesting. You can look at me instead of the screen. $598. It just automatically chose an area code. Uruguay. They're just calling me gay. That's all they're doing. Fucking NSA memes. Fine, you want an alternate email address? I'll give you an alternate email address. Which NSA career field interests me the most? Other. Major skill area. Administrative support. Degree level. Just high school so far. I have some college. Experience level. Call it mid-level. Should be interested in hearing from it. Not right now. No hiring managers required at this time. U.S. citizenship. Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. Resume. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put any documents. Privacy statement for the NSA is probably redundant. It's probably... Isn't that like an oxymoron? Alright, I've completed the form. Neat sex, Alec. N-E-E-T. That's what you're getting yourself into with Jiao Mi Crow. The NSA just wants me to know that. Okay, I think it's time to go for a drive after I vape at you vigorously. Alright, I'll see you in the truck.
Sigue extra perro and I'm going hard amoeba. Aggressiva. Oh, I need to check the coulante. Verb. Spice video, my hot sauce video from yesterday, you would know that I was potentially in peril today. Almost guaranteed to be in peril today. I have somewhat resolved that. I did experience pain, but I'm okay now. I need to get my fuel additives too out of the garage. Hold on, let me start the truck up. Today I smoking. So I'll be right back. Okay, that didn't take long, and here's what I got. I got the blue Lyrical Lemonade rolling papers, the purple, and then some pro tips. And that'll do it for me. So next time. Alright, now let's go drive around a little bit, and then we'll go to a gas station and get some gas. I may have shown you this before. My fuel meter is always past empty, so I just have to go by the odometer is what it's called. Yeah, you can smell how much gas is left. JK. But yeah, at 200 I'm empty. At 100 I'm half empty. Quick MPG based on the stats. Good to go. Oh yeah, and also a quick reminder that this was my grandfather's truck. He passed away in, I don't remember when he passed away. quick swap out on the battery for my GoPro. I just reset the odometer so I can keep track of my motherfucking shit. And then also I realized I should address that in case you're worried about my ketamine consumption while driving, I haven't had any ketamine today, so don't worry about that. That's not what I'm up to here. I've made it very clear that I'm respecting the rules. At least the ones that make sense. That one makes sense. Although I have spent quite a bit of time practicing driving in video games while on ketamine. That's for sure. Alright, and I put the fuel additive in also, but it'll take a little while for it to mix. And so I'm just gonna drive around. I think we'll take that route that I go to the gym, and we'll hit that corner carefully. We'll hit those corners carefully, because I'm not trying to fucking lose control of the vehicle, just like I mentioned. Just trying to keep it chill, but have some fun. And practice. replace the oil again, and I'll check some of the other fluids. But tomorrow we're doing tire change, or they're doing tire change. I guess it's we. The tire change will be done. Alignment, because although we could skip the alignment, the tires will probably wear out faster if we skip the alignment. And then hopefully they'll do a pressure check on the coolant system to try to figure out where that leak is coming from, so I don't have to keep filling up the coolant every time I get in the truck. And that's it for now. I'll put some of the stuff back here that I took out, like some of my extracurricular items, as well as my fire extinguisher, and I'll still carry some fluids around with me just in case. But that'll do it for the driving today. Keep it safe on the roads, but driving is supposed to be fun. But also if you got like a payload or something, and you don't need to be skirting around the corners, I would recommend not fucking around, especially in some of the more dangerous areas. Anyway, I think we'll end this video with, I'll go inside and I will roll up a hemp joint with some of the new papers, probably the purple one, and then we can have a quick smoking session, and that will conclude this session of the video. You never know, I might film another one later. So I've been using the blue ones, and I'll use them more later. I'll probably move these next door. It's only part of a pack left, but my purple one was empty, and I like these. They're newer. They started stocking them more recently. And once again, this hemp is coming from Tweedle Farms. It's federally approved hemp. And there are benefits to smoking federally approved hemp. It's not just, the point of cannabis isn't just to get high. It has some very relevant benefits regardless of how much THC you have in it. Cannabidiol is very effective, as well as some of the terpenes. So purple pack. I'll probably clean up my smoking area, or my whatever you call this, at some point as well. My rolling station. Basically, this is like just a healthier alternative to smoking corporate cigarettes. Because right now, the state of tobacco, like just buying a regular pack of cigarettes at a gas station or smoke stop, is not really the move, in my opinion. I would know, having smoked a bunch of them. This is much better for you. And if you have a nicotine addiction, my condolences to you, my sympathies. Maybe try getting a ketamine prescription to help you deal with that. And be safe with it, Don't ruin a good thing. So I've been smoking here a lot. This is just like one of my normal places to smoke. But another place that I have, which is really fun, is over here. I laid these stones down finally this past summer. They were all along the wall, most of them. And I created this little patio section back here. And this had a weird amount of crud that I cleared out as well. But I like sitting back here. But the sun's out today. I also put this summer just there and there, and I did some painting, you know, the white paint. I put this siding on too. But this was a whole task. I did this in between volunteering at the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. And when spring rolls around, I'll take care of some of when the weeds start growing again, I'll make sure I take care of some of the weeds. I put these lights up too. When it's warm in the evening, it's a really nice vibe back here. And also, sometimes we'll come back here and I'll take my non-alcoholic homebrew and I'll sit back here and smoke some hemp and drink my non-alcoholic homebrew. But slowly but surely we're working on this house. We couldn't work on it for like, I don't know, 10 years. We didn't have any time to work on it. My dad used to work on houses all the time. But this has become a joint project between me and him, where we're just trying to get it to where like it can be used as like a clubhouse and stuff like that. For me specifically, I'm not planning on inviting people over necessarily, but if I make some cool friends, you know, ones that are responsible and can respect the space, maybe I'll invite some people over. Maybe I'll get a grill back here or something. By the way, the other night I made a video about, I was in the bath and I wasn't recording video of me in the bath, but I was recording audio, talking about one of my suicide attempts and how weird it was. Well, I actually had another one with this tree. I practiced hanging myself in this tree and I actually got really close to being successful. I got so close to being successful that it's the same way where it's like, did I actually do it? And this is a DMT hallucination? Inherently, probably yes. Now the branches are gone. And at some point we'll probably take the tree out and maybe I'll turn it into firewood. Maybe we'll turn it into firewood, or maybe we'll turn it into, I don't know, a table or something. But regardless, it's like I'm still hanging there. Here, wave to the camera, me, from the past. That one didn't require hospitalization. It was just, I don't want to go into too many details because I don't want to overly trigger you. But I think it's important to be able to openly talk about stuff like this, especially people who are suicidal. I think sometimes you just need to hear someone else openly talk about it. So I'll keep it brief and I'll try not to put too much into that content because I tend to have a different view nowadays on it. But what I had been doing was, you know, Bing is pretty lit when it comes to researching suicide. Once again, I'm not encouraging you to. I'm just saying, you know, if you're going to anyway, you're going to. It helps more to have someone be open about it. I researched the knots, the slip knot. I researched that actually not breaking the neck is, breaking the neck is not required for it. And also it's a lot harder to get yourself to do things that require drastic harm, like neck breaking and stuff like that. It's hard to make yourself hurt yourself sometimes, especially in a calculated way when you're thinking about it. And that's for a reason, and that's good. That's a good thing. Even when you're in the throes of depression, you might be frustrated with yourself. It's better just to give yourself some time. Anyway, I practiced that it actually, like, obstructing the arteries and going into a blackout state, and then at that point being hung in the blackout state is actually, that's pretty much the most effective way, it seems like. And so what had happened is I'd practiced the blackout part, and I was pretty good at it. And then at that last second where I was, and it wasn't a sexual thing, it wasn't like a kink thing. I know people do stuff like that for that, but that's not what it was for me. I was just trying to find a way out of a very difficult situation that I did not cause. But I'm glad that I'm still here, even on tough days, because in the other video I mentioned, one of the things is, like, well, if you produce a bunch of DMT when you die, and then you go into a hallucination state, like, isn't that just, like, how do you know that you even died? Like, how do you know you're not just getting transferred into another reality, which could be even worse? I think with prayer and meditation, your afterlife can be better, but, shouldn't we work on making our current life better first? And I know it's easier said than done sometimes. But anyway, I think it's important to make peace with stuff like this. And just realize that, like, no matter where you are in the world, even if you don't believe it, God is still with you. No matter where you are in life, God is still with you. So, I might still be swinging there for all I know. Might be a skeleton at this point. Or I might have fallen. Who knows? But I'm here too. I'm here now. In this reality, I'm here now. So the point is, like, right as I was about to black out for the final one, where I'd finally gotten all my shit together and I was planning on it, right at that moment where I was about to black out, God had a conversation with me and showed me all the different possibilities. And he was like, realistically, no matter what the outcome is, you're going to end up, being at this point again. So you might as well just undo it. This is the moment where it'll diverge. Like, you'll have succeeded in part of the timeline, but then if you stop right now, right when I'm telling you, you'll have learned all those lessons that you would have just by having succeeded anyway, but you'll have come full circle and you're allowed to take that and move forward with it. And it was kind of like this moment of, like, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't ever try to do this stuff, it's just I'm telling you the truth that in this moment you will achieve nothing by doing this. And I actually did have some further suicide attempts in my life, but eventually I realized, like, there's got to be a better way to change my life. There's got to be a better way to change things. And I think there is. I think it's still difficult, but every day there's ways forward. Death is a part of life. It's part of the life cycle. But I think it's more important that we accomplish what we're supposed to before we leave this earth, or before our bodies perish, if you will. That we have something to do. And until we complete that, the karmic cycle continues. So it's better to do self-care and get your shit together in the other way. Better to do self-care and figure out, your daily routines, figure out who's important to you and who still loves you, who you can love back, and to find your boundaries. Find ways to do the things you love without crossing that line if you can. That's my personal opinion. You're going to do whatever it is you choose to do with your life, but that's where I'm coming from.
Because think of it this way, if your whole life is a hallucination and you're only experiencing part of what's real, and you're going to experience something regardless, in my opinion, it's much better to experience a normal life as much as you can, where you're comfortable and you're happy as possible. So like, let's say I'm having a combat hallucination right now. I'm actually out in the Middle East fighting in some sort of war again, you know, as if that happened the first time. But in my mind, I'm here. Realistically, this is probably the better choice, no matter what's actually occurring. Maybe for some other people or for some other points in time, maybe that's not the better choice. Maybe it would be better to remember actually being in combat. Maybe there's a reason for that. But for me right now, I can't help but feel like this isn't that bad. All things considered, about all the things that could be happening in the world right now, this is not that bad. So, you know, do what you will with that. But that's my contribution in the moment.